Coming up on this episode of The Village Idiom.
How often have you been listening to Billy Joel?
I don't listen to Billy Joel.
For the longest time.
Oh, jeez.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to The Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every single week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic and once in a while even interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
I'm Skinny. Sometimes directionless conversation or sometimes comedic is always cracks me up.
I know, I've noticed.
Or sometimes interesting. Because that would also imply all the opposites. And if you'd said that, welcome to a podcast
that is sometimes disinteresting.
Sometimes interesting. It's okay. Whatever. It's like over at the mall, do you remember that cinnamon bun place in Willowbrook?
Hopefully comedic.
It was called
sometimes interesting.
Okay Cinnamon Buns.
Oh, no, I don't remember.
Oh, there used to be a cinnamon bun store before it got all franchised out. It was called Okay Cinnamon Buns. Like, it's the worst name. Whatever.
I remember thinking along those lines, like the flip-flop, like every breakfast commercial, whether it was cereal or a granola bar or a Pop-Tart or whatever, it always ended with, this is a part of a complete breakfast. In other words, please don't have just this as breakfast. This is not good for you. Part of a complete breakfast.
Let me repeat this.
Here's a rock.
Don't just eat this.
Part of a complete breakfast. You also need
nutrition,
whole wheat toast, maybe some protein, yogurt, some fruit, and then you can have the Pop-Tart. Part of a complete breakfast.
I feel like it's one of those parental responsibilities.
Maybe that's how we should end my intro. This is
part of a complete breakfast.
Part of a complete podcast. For part of your podcast needs.
Not all of them. It's only recommended. It'll only get you 30% of your recommended comedic value in a given day. Oh my goodness, your day is terrible. So anyways,
where do you get
we don't want to keep going on and on about
it. How do you get by on just the Village Idiom?
You look emaciated.
I wonder if anybody listens to, because I listen to quite a few podcasts. Do you think there's anybody that listens to a podcast?
There must be. Their own?
Their own.
In previewing it?
And they don't listen to anyone else's?
Possibly.
That'd be like listening to one song. One artist.
One song. Yeah. Maybe one artist.
Yeah. Like, what kind of music do you like? Billy Joel.
I probably could do that. that sounds fine. He's got such a lovely repertoire of songs.
I should have picked like...
How often have you been listening to Billy Joel?
I don't listen to Billy Joel.
For the longest time.
Oh, jeez.
Billy Joel puns right off the bat. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I expect that stuff uptown, not here.
Girl. That's
the extent of my knowledge. Oh, wait, Piano Man?
Yeah, sing me a song. Sing me a song.
Maybe I have listened to more Billy Joel than I realized.
Yeah.
I just don't care. But every song we've listed so far are awesome songs, so maybe I do care.
Well, if you had to listen to that, I'm working into the direction of like an Only the Good Die Young situation, but I can't
see. Is that his song?
Only the Good Die Young?
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell for me.
Sure it does.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that it rang a bell for me.
Yeah, it does.
Does he do Mr. Bojangles?
I don't know. That sounds like a horror villain.
Horror villain.
Mr. Bojangles. Don't look behind your couch. It's Mr. Bojangles.
It is just a giant cat. Well, welcome to the podcast. You know what today's all about? This.
I don't want to sound like a broken record.
Nah, I don't want to sound like Loghorn. What's his name? Leghorn, Foghorn, Leghorn?
Foghorn, Leghorn. I say. Well, repeat. I'm wondering if like current generations will even have any concept of that.
That was the ender to my spiel later on. But let's get into it. Like, it's still obviously totally used,
like a broken record.
But how many people know what it's referring to, or how many think? I wonder if we did we should have done some sort of survey. I wonder how many like under 20s think it has to do with setting and breaking a record.
Wow.
Like a world record.
Like a broken record.
Yeah.
I've never even cross my mind to think that until right this second.
Because if they have no reference to a skipping record,
right.
Not to be a broken record. Like,
I don't want to be a corrupt MP3 or anything. What are you saying right now?
A skipping CD. What's a CD? That's how bad this is.
Right.
We're already. I've got connections into a thrift shop, and people are donating CDs. There's nothing beyond CDs, is there?
I packed something
to donate
for today.
You packed.
Yeah, I made sure to bring it in a box. I haven't opened it. It's off on the side here.
Oh, I saw you coming in. I thought that was just your
my wardrobe.
wardrobe.
You know how I roll. I like to change up all the time.
Yeah, but you don't have to do multiples in one episode.
One heavy jacket. So I packed along a full
of CDs
box of
records.
Yes. And then I thought it would be fun. I have no idea what's in it. Here's what's happened. As I go through my crawl space, when my mom, an audiophile, loves music, and she's had this amazing record collection, but she handed it over 15, 20 years ago, and it sat in my previous house's crawl space area unopened.
What kind of music is it? All Billy Joel?
We're going to open it and find out. It's boxed.
You literally haven't looked in this?
I literally, God is my witness, have not opened this. So I don't know
This is the best. I love records.
So there's boxes of them, but I brought just one in so that we could go through. And if there's anything interesting that we could have an honest reaction to it.
Go start opening it.
So I'm going.
Okay. I'll tell you this, though, as you're going through this. So I love records, but I don't buy a ton of records except for one thing. Because I had to decide, once you start going down the road of, I'm going to start buying records, it's where do you stop? Because it's endless supply of records in these record shops. So I'm looking for comedy, first of all. Stand-up comedy.
Apparently I've opened the Christmas
you
box.
have. Chipmunk Punk? What is Chipmunk?
Okay, so we got you can show them off here. I'll hand them to you.
Elvis Christmas album. So this is a keeper. I do have some Elvis records. No, I got to see this Christmas Punk. Is that the Chipmunks? Oh, it is the Chipmunks.
Chipmunk Punk. Christmas songs, random Christmas Mousercise.
The Chipmunks doing My Sharona.
Wow. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into a little bit more of
Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Is this from the movie or is this older?
This is original when it was happening.
This one comes with a Mr. Microphone. Uses any FM radio as an amplifier.
Really?
Disco rock.
Oh my goodness. And this great artwork on it. Here you go.
Can't get enough of the Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Look at this. Right on. This album, this K-Tel. Do you remember the K-Tel commercials?
Yeah. That's what's going on right now.
Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Tonight your mind come quickly. 1, 2, 3, true love. You get all these songs and more on K-Tel. This one's called Right On. 20 original hits and original stars.
This is
Fleetwood Mac.
That is cray.
The tassels on his belt could be better placed.
Fleetwood Mac. Is this comedy? I don't know. No, I think no. Robert John. Oh, here you go. Definitely.
Robert John and Elton John.
Oh!
Is this his brother?
Oh! Wait a minute. Here you go for comedy. That's probably not on your...
Is that Gallagher? What's Gallagher's real... No. Bruce Babyman Baum.
Bruce Baum. What's going on?
I've never heard of this guy, but I love this.
We got the B-52s.
Wow.
Original B-52 stuff. It's so good, but what am I supposed to do with it now?
You're supposed to let me go rifling through all of this.
All of these things and see if there's something that you like. So,
does that say Big Bambi?
Big Bamboo? Cheech and Chong? Crazy!
Oh, I just said I collect
Let's look in there.
Comedy on vinyl.
Pop that one open.
Oh, it opens like a book of matches. And the record's supposed to go there.
Is the record in here?
Yeah.
Well, I was like, is it empty? Because that's not good.
That.
A Cheech and Chong?
Estuche Inglés.
Got some Johnny Cash.
That's exciting. Johnny Cash, that's another good one.
Folsom Prison. Oh,
this is
classics.
awesome.
Yeah, good old classics. Wholesome tunes like Cocaine Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good old Johnny Cash. So, yeah, I'll grab one more quick handful and then you...
Cocaine Blues, followed by Send a Picture of Mother. Oh, this is so fun. Like, let's get through this podcast because I want to go through that whole box.
All right.
You bringing over more?
I'm just going to do one more handful.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, my Lanta.
What? Oh, George Carlin.
What?
This looks questionable. I gotta tone down my excitement.
George Carlin, this is terrible.
That's right. Oh man, this is so fun.
Yeah, I won't I won't derail this whole podcast with it's pretty amazing. Anyways, box full of amazing, and so yeah, please. It's the what to do with.
I know.
I know. You either love the vinyl, we talk about a broken record and record players. You either love the vinyl, you go like, or you just after like the content, and it's like, oh, good. You can feel the warmth of the vinyl, and
right?
Can you hear it when the needle is raking the vinyl?
So here's the problem though, because we have a mutual friend, Kim and Randy. Mm-hmm. He looks for old turntables. He takes them to a place that repairs turntables, gets them back, and sells them for double, triple, quadruple what he bought them on Craigslist for or whatever.
Awesome.
But he loves vinyl. He loves turntables. The key to enjoying turntables when it comes to music is there's some real money in having the right needle and sound and treatment and all these things. Like it's not just buy one of those suitcase record players, which I have behind me right here, because this is actually terrible for your records if you care about records. Like the weightedness behind the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record.
Broken record, but what am I supposed to do? It's like, what are you supposed to do with stuff that you like? Maybe memories are attached to or that you love, but you're like, it's gonna sit in my crawl space till like my kids take care of it.
It's funny the hierarchy of
what is
old
this?
Technology. Like I feel like vinyl is older, but more valued or sought after than say VHS.
VHS, basically, you just throw them in the garbage.
You know what I like about vinyl, as opposed to everything that came after it, is watching it. It's a moving. Like I can wrap my brain around binary digital. I don't know how to do it, but I can go, okay, binary code creates this reproduction of musical sounds all digitally. I don't understand how the grooves and the vibrate, like you don't even have to have the speakers working. And if you put your ear close enough, you can hear the recording because of the vibrating groove.
You had me at binary. I'm in love right now.
I love that tactile, like when you see all the workings of a clock, that's way more interesting than a digital clock. The turning of a turntable and a needle following a groove is way more interesting than a hidden
now, hypothetically,
tape.
You had cases of clocks in your crawl space. What should you do? Should you just put them out to enjoy?
Yeah, on the shelves behind me right now.
So what happens to your kids are now required to like take this and deal with it?
Yeah. Are you talking about me being dead?
Yeah. Of course I'm talking about you being dead.
Again.
Yeah. That's like a weekly thing.
What do I care what they have to do after I'm dead? I'm going to clean up Dad's mess. Yeah.
I cleaned up your mess.
Exactly.
Now you're going to clean up my mess.
That's all it said.
Yeah, because these things have attachment and you love them, but it's a real tearing thing, and I don't want to just keep harping on it again and again.
But that is the definition of the idiom, and how we're using it to do is when something is just being redundantly talked about and repeated. Not like, I mean, yes, a repeating word. Like if you just get stuck on something, you get stuck on something. You
Wave
get
of the future.
Stuck on, yeah.
Wave of the future.
That's also, but it doesn't even have to be that. It's often used just in like the nagging about something. Like, oh my goodness, you're like a broken record. You've asked for that for Christmas 900 times. And it could be over the course of a year.
But there's some things that I love repetition in. For example, I love getting a good haircut. And
repeatedly?
You got to get one every few weeks. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh.
and so
I don't need a haircut.
Which is a great segue into our sponsor for this upcoming week.
For the first time, we're happy to present to you
new sponsor, Tommy Guns.
The original barbershop.
we very much we go for different reasons. I go to have the hair on my back trimmed. Beautiful. No one waxes like
they have an amazing hot towel, hot shave, face or head.
Yeah. So
I've not done the face yet, but I've gone for the head shave, and it's 45 minutes of massage and oils and straight razor shave.
I use Tommy. I love Tommy Gunn.
Yeah. We should go for the face shave. I was asking her about it because I've never done it. I've always gone for the head shave. It's so relaxing. And I was saying, yeah, I feel weird asking for both in one sitting. Like I'm going to be in there for 2 hours.
Like you're greedy.
Yeah. So she's like,
we don't recommend
weekly
that much massage to your head at once.
Weekly, because when you're getting your head shaved, you're sitting upright. When you're getting your face shaved, they lean you reclined right back. Said weekly, somebody falls asleep getting their face shaved.
I'm cheap. There's stuff that you pay for. Like,
yeah, but you brought it up.
But I like the way.
If you contact us and you'd like to try,
I like the head massage as part of the deal. So I get my hair cut, and then I also get you get your head massage, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a total fall asleep thing. So, yeah, if you're looking to get we can get you a discount, $10 off your haircut at Tommy Guns. Just make sure you send us in at our social media.
Yeah,
we'll get you connected.
All right, back to it. Sounding like a broken record. Actually, before we get into it, when we mentioned, I wonder if they hear it as breaking a previously set record. A story popped into my head about when we were kids. We went for a vacation, and part of it was a road trip which went through a small town in central Washington that my dad grew up in. And as we're driving through this like tiny town, he's pointing at things like, "Oh, that's where I had my first date. Oh, that's..." And we drove by this track and field center, and he goes, "Oh, I broke many records there." And 2 minutes go by, and my sister says, "Did you have to pay for them?"
That's awesome. I'm telling you that thought of broken records didn't cross my head.
Funny, right?
Yeah, it's super weird. I was looking in because this will come out before Groundhog Day. And so
beautiful, great example.
Yeah, the broken record, something that just keeps repeating itself. You know, the happening again and again. Is there okay? Is everything all right now?
Yeah, I don't know if something went weird in the other side of the glass there. You can open the door if you can't hear us. You can open the door.
That's all good.
They'll work it out.
All right. So this is the way that, because it was coming up to Groundhog Day, broken record, Groundhog Day, and the investigation on the 6 more weeks of winter, whether it was going to be 6 more weeks of winter or whether the season was done or however that was going to work, turned into, it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter, what to do about getting vitamin D, which then the internet went into Redheads.
What? Oh, yeah.
And then it turned into some redhead trivia about redheads being able to produce their own vitamin D or something crazy.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, I've got a little blurb going through there. I'll just go through it. Because we have, my coworker is a redhead.
Yeah.
And yeah, so sometimes when she goes crazy, we say, "Oh, it's a ginger snap," so she's going nuts. But anyways, but less than 2% of the population are redheads. If you're a redhead out there, make sure you leave a comment.
Yeah.
And redheads occur in any.
And if you're a redhead, you can get 20% off retail, any of the retail products at Tommy Guns if you let us know.
Beautiful. Red hair can occur in any ethnicity.
Is that right?
I didn't know that. And so I've never seen it.
So what is being redhead? Now that you say it's in, that's like saying, I don't know if there's a proper term for being an albino, but that can happen in any ethnicity, but that's a pigment of your skin. But you're talking about it like it's a similar kind of thing. So being a redhead.
Yeah, apparently it 2 to 6% in people in Northern or Western European ancestry, but that it can happen in any ethnicity. Being a redhead and some other mutant super abilities.
What about the animal family? Can you have a redhead lion?
A fox?
Well, they're supposed to be redheaded.
Well, I don't know. Redheaded lion?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like a zebra. Redheaded zebra?
That would just be weird. Would it be white and red? Like a candy cane? It's a Christmas zebra. But this one caught me interesting. Redheads don't go gray.
What?
I know.
That's not true.
Other superhuman. Apparently, redheads never turn gray. It simply fades to a white rose gold when the time comes.
Get
This is
outta
what
here.
it said. I know. The redheads produce their own vitamin D as they can't sufficiently absorb vitamin
How
D.
old is Conan O'Brien then?
Well, I don't know.
He will never age.
You're making your own vitamin D? Why don't we just all do that?
They're making it? Oh, I misunderstood. I thought it was a deficiency. We all make our own vitamin D.
I'm not a scientist.
Sunlight touches our skin, we make vitamin D.
Well, maybe they don't need it like that.
They can't go out in the sun.
They're super abilities. Absorbing, I don't know.
Maybe that's why they can't go out in the sun. Overload on vitamin D.
Maybe.
We are
Nowhere near our target today.
Something is not right.
Anyways, Broken Record turned into Groundhog Day, turned into
Groundhog
6
Day
more
makes
weeks of
sense
winter,
as far as the
turned
movie
into Vitamin
goes.
D, turned into Redheads.
Because the movie Groundhog Day, as everyone knows, is basically one day as a broken record. One day replayed every time.
I thought it was a fantastic. Back when you would put Groundhog Day on a TV out in just the general office hallway and leave it playing all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so that
It's that kind of movie.
Yeah, like it's right up there with It's a Wonderful Life, but for February 2nd or whatever.
For the most popular holiday of the year.
Broken record much?
I learned that trick, putting a movie on, back in my music days, being in the studio with this producer, and he had a movie going all the time. Sound off. And so if anybody was in the booth singing or playing and was just hit a rut, like just not hitting it, you just needed a break. And he would casually, as if he wasn't thinking about it, he'd go, hang on, come in for a second. Come in, he goes, I love this scene. Stop everything. Stop the recording process. Turn the volume up. Watch a funny scene.
Was this part of his like leadership kung fu?
Yeah.
Part of the creative process?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And we'd watch a scene. We'd all be laughing. Okay, anyway, I just love that scene so much. Everybody back in.
That's Jedi.
And he'd hit it first time.
That's Jedi
Yeah,
level.
it was great. And so
Pull your brain.
I've done that with the creative. We were talking about that creative process and how John Cleese was talking about it, where sometimes you got to just shelf it and walk away.
Disassociate your brain.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Anyway, that's how you make a broken record, is by getting stuck in the booth and unable to play.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go. Don't tell me where I go.
Well, actually, where does all this even...
I said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origin.
I'd love to have Johnny Cash do... Ding, ding, ding. Words came from another mind.
I'll look behind. Where'd they go?
That was pretty great. I was just messing around. Yours was good.
Where'd they go? Nobody knows. Walk the line. Okay. Origins.
Well, I killed a man in Reno.
Just to watch him die.
It's pretty dark.
Origins. Let's brighten it up a little bit.
Now you sound like a broken record.
That's Weird Al. All right. In my knee-deep research, I undertook through the caverns of the internet to find the origin of this reference. I was dismayed because I discovered many sites referencing this very popular idiom. And every site stated one of two things. It seemed to be a battle between its origin being in 1940 or 1944.
Okay.
The stupid part was, no matter how many sources I went to, nobody listed the actual reference. They would just say, Sounding Like a Broken Record comes from 1940. Next page. Sounding Like a Broken Record, the idiom comes from 1944. Sounding Like a Broken Record was first recorded in 1940. And just went back and forth. I'm like, what is the reference? So I just kept on digging. Never found any reference or actual quote or recorded in any literature or radio interview, nothing, no newspapers that coincided with 1940 or 1944 at all. And
but the phonograph was like 1800s.
well, that's it. So I decided that it might be helpful to go into the history of just the record instead to see if we could uncover anything or if I could discover anything just looking that up. So you're right. The origins of the phonograph date back to Thomas Edison's invention from 1877. But at that point, he was using tinfoil cylinders, not the black disc-shaped thing that we think of when we think of a record. So
wow.
That wasn't even a record.
Tinfoil cylinders.
Tinfoil cylinders. So the first format that bears any resemblance to the records that from like the 1950s through to today can be attributed to Berliner Gramophone, probably heard of gramophone, who in 1897 produced the first shellac record that was 7 inches in diameter. Then the 10-inch came out, would follow in 1901, and the 12-inch by 1903. One thing to note is that the records that I have, that we just went through in the box, they're not particularly fragile.
No.
They're not that, like, they're quite flexible.
They will shatter.
But I remember seeing in, like, movies and stuff, someone taking a record and just going on, like, Three Stooges over your head or, like, on your elbow,
right,
edge of the table, and it would just shatter instantly. And I'm like, records don't do that. So here's why. Original records were made out of shellac. Shellac is a resin secreted by the female lac bug. Did you know that's where shellac came from?
Like a shellac?
I guess so.
Is that like in Land of the Lost?
Shellac is the name of the resin that comes from the secreted. Yeah. Producers.
Will Hawley on a routine expedition.
That was taken from forest trees in Thailand and India, and as a storage format for music, it was incredibly fragile and not really
Who's thinking
durable.
of that? We're going to take this bug goo.
It's probably like
we're going to put it in a disc.
It probably looked like sap on a tree. And you're like, when it dries, we can actually mold it into something. So shellac was replaced in part by a vinyl precursor called vitrolac or vitrolac in 1929. But in 1931...
That sounds like a Pokemon character. A vitrolac and a shellac.
Right? So by 1931, it became more robust, a better quality. Vinyl in... so what we mostly know it to be now didn't come out until 1949. So this post-war triumph coincided with the first LPs, first 12-inch in diameter that ran at the speed of 33 RPMs. So that basically the record that we know today was 1949. Here's the controversy that popped up time and time again as I researched this too. And the controversy was this.
Only a broken record, but caves are natural shelter.
Are caves natural shelters? No, that's not the controversy. That's a little clip from Lost. The controversy is you can't actually play a broken record. So the sound that we're talking about, the skipping record, doesn't come from a broken record. It is futile to try and play a broken record. You can play a scratched record. A scratched record will sometimes cause the skipping sound that we're talking about, the repeated, like it is stuck in one groove and it doesn't leave that, or it just goes back on itself. So the idiom should be, and there's people furious on the internet, as you would imagine, saying this should be, you sound like a scratch record.
It's a great place to get furious.
Either you sound like a scratch record or you sound like a skipping record. Nobody should be saying you sound like a broken record. And the funniest thing I saw was a Venn diagram using two records. And on one record it says record collectors. And on the other record it says
broken records.
Who says sounds like a scratched record. Yeah. So even though record collectors know it to be correct, nobody says it sounds like a scratch record. Everybody says it sounds like a broken record. But you can't play a broken record. So even though I couldn't find the originally recorded use of this idiom in 1940 or 1944, I did find an interesting one from 1953. It was the oldest one I could find anyway. And it's a unique situation. So when so this is a UN meeting.
Okay.
Britain's Minister of State, Selwyn Lloyd, he became bored with a speech by Russia's Andrei Vyshinsky in a UN debate. And it says he borrowed a Dizzy Gillespie bebop expression and commented, "Dig that broken record," in the middle of a UN debate. Here's where it gets funny, is while most translators, because this is the UN, so everybody's in their own language with headphones on or whatever, pondered the meaning, the man who takes English and puts it into Chinese used this English line for it to be translated into Chinese. He said, "Recovered the phonograph record which you have discarded."
Wow. That's funny.
So you had no idea
This is why
that it
idioms-
was slang
Right.
from. So I'm
Idioms
thinking
are
that
terrible.
the Dizzy Gillespie for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Translation.
Yeah, play on words, idioms,
Brutal.
phrases, they don't work in a UN meeting. But the Dizzy Gillespie part, like bebop was at its peak at that time. And I'm thinking the only part that's Dizzy Gillespie is the dig that. Like,
Every time you say bebop, I think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle nemesis. Wasn't that the name of the rhino or something?
oh yeah, I think it was.
That's all. It was like born on bebop.
Bebop. Think Dizzy Gillespie, like he's like the guy for bebop, like that upbeat jazz. The roots of hip hop, actually, I would say, comes from bebop.
Wow.
Yeah.
We should.
Anyway,
we should save it for.
a rainy day
Yeah, save it for a rainy day. That sounds like you got a whole treasure trove there
of records,
of information on this
bebop
subject.
into hip hop. We'll just play music one day
Maybe.
out of your box.
Wow. Cool, man.
Dig those broken records, man.
Those scratch
So
records.
that there you go. 1940, 1944, who knows? But 1953, it was actually said at the UN, threw everybody off. And
That's a good story.
And there's a little history into vinyl records and shellac and vitrolac and the lac bug.
Your enthusiasm gets me fired up.
It was fun. It's fun. I like this stuff.
Yeah, that's a good piece of little something. So if you're around the water cooler today and you're looking to impress somebody with your...
Ask them where shellac comes from.
Do you know that shellac comes from a bug?
A female lac bug.
The female lac. The shellac. They're going to go balderdash. But it's true, right?
It is true. Yeah.
I just believe it because you said it. I'll take your word for it.
Well, take the internet.
The internet's true.
So I try.
Bad.
We're going long. I didn't even realize it was the records. It was looking into the records.
Yeah. Looking through the that did take my bad. Well, we should start wrapping things up here.
Well, we always like to go with Riddling is a game we like to play that is a two-part trivia-based question that requires a two-part but overlapping answer, overlapping by sound or syllable or word or words. For example, last week, our idiom of the week was pouring fuel on the fire, and we left you with this idiom. This precedes the old man is snoring, and you're making a bad situation worse. Did you get that one? Precedes the old man is snoring.
Yeah, it's raining. It's pouring fuel on the fire.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's raining. It's pouring fuel on the fire.
There you go.
That's how you play.
Awesome. Well, let me jump in. I've got a pair for you. Let me go first.
Show me your pair.
Our illegitimate children, feel free to beat out Marcus here.
Good luck.
Okay. Khalid's number one.
Khalid's number one.
2017 hit single just repeats itself again and
Man,
again.
I don't know his songs. Like you're talking about DJ Khalid?
No. You know this. If you think about it, you'll get this.
Is it end in the word broken? Or is it end in the word record? Something broken. My heart's broken record.
It's for the non-elderly.
Young and broken.
Young, Dumb, and Broken record.
Nope, no
Young,
idea.
Dumb, and Broke?
Nope.
Oh, that's a popular. Where are you at?
Sorry, man.
Where are you at, yo?
I don't know. Apparently, I'm a little more out of it than I realized. Here's one for you. This resin that comes from a female bug is also producing breast milk.
She lactation.
That's it.
What? Don't try and take me down on that.
Shalactating.
Illegitimate children, know your place.
Give me another one.
Okay, I got a second one. Bill Murray's repetitious movie is vampire nickname for a human.
Say it again.
Bill Murray's repetitious movie is a vampire nickname for a human.
Oh, man. So Groundhog, Daylighter, Daytimer, Day Spawn, Day Muggle, Groundhog, Day...
Oh, the illegitimate children beat ya. It's a daywalker.
Daywalker.
Yeah.
I don't know that stuff. Vampires. It's out of
not
my
up on
league.
your vampire lore?
No.
Oh, man.
Okay, I got one more, but I would really love our illegitimate children to play along. So tell them how they can play.
Beat us. Beat us.
Just beat us.
Just reach out on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email us at village.
What was that? Village.
The Village Idiom Podcast at gmail.com. I think I just had a little brief stroke there. I'll be okay.
You sound like a broken record.
And then
Actually broken,
you can
not
reach
scratched.
out to us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email the Village Idiom Podcast at gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at 3 Minutes Gone, or on Instagram at the.village.idiom.
We're not going to get any responses to this. Somebody else is. With similar information to ours. Okay, here's the last one. The California Raisins sang this about this record material that followed Vitrolac.
Wow.
Yeah, hope you're paying attention.
Better pay attention in order to get that one. Well, it's been fun putting together, and that is 3 Minutes Gone.
There we go.
Well, it's fun putting all this together. We should wrap up this stuff. Make sure you reach out to us. We love hearing from you. I'm Skinny.
And you know what? I might post pictures of some of the jewels I find in that record box there.
That would be fun.
Yeah. If there's anything good, you will know. We'll post it on Instagram. Come follow. Give us a follow.
I like a lot.
All right. What did you say?
I still am Skinny.
Oh, and I am Jurassic Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
I'm a broken record.
And that's 3 minutes gone.